Welcome to the Bravo Charlie Club podcast, making you 12 and a half minutes more awesome each week. He's Ben, I'm Richard, let's go. Ben, how are you this week, mate?
Going well, mate. And you listen to the country call out is Brazil, so that's hola. Welcome to our friends in Brazil. The Fully Awake project.
You soccer.
Did, yeah. I think the South American countries, there's a lot of sharing of language there, so that's good.
Yeah,
heavy users of Spanish. Fully Awake project, mate. You did jury duty. Now,
I did. Yes.
I have a confession to make just between you and I. Whenever that letter, and I've got 2 or 3 of them requesting me to go on jury duty, whenever that comes, I always just go straight to, my employer and say, can you sign that I'm too important to... But I don't actually know why. I don't actually have a reason. It just is something that I haven't wanted to do. Maybe my civic duty will come back and bite me sometime. But what's involved? Tell me about it.
Also, just on that, I think that it's the age distribution of people that are there for jury duty is a fascinating thing at the outset, right? Because it was heavily skewed towards people that I would classify as retired. Maybe half the people there were retired. So my kind of thinking about that phenomenon is that, like you say, people who've got work or got other things that they can't do, can't make it. And for people who have retired, jury duty. Oh, that's kind of interesting. That sort of mixes up the week a bit. I'm gonna get along and check it out. Well, you do get paid. The hilarity about the payment is that they pick up your public transport and they have a daily rate for you as well. But of course, in Queensland, with the state government reduced fares, that's 50 cents.
50 cents.
They pick up. Thanks for that. So I didn't bother claiming the dollar.
Didn't put in. So what happens? What happens? Like you've got your notice. You've said I'm going. You're told to show up on a day. Then what happens?
So you've got your notice. Probably about 80 people in the pool that had opted in. So I don't know how big the pool was initially, but that was the people that turned up. You sit through
80 to get 12.
Yeah, so there was about 80 there. So you sit in this room. It's probably got about 100 seats in it, and they're all like those government plastic chairs that you probably sat on in high school. So like awesome seating.
Yeah.
You watch about an hour's worth of videos before the selection takes place to talk about, how the legal system works and the different people and what their jobs are and all that kind of thing. And then you go into the courtroom and they have this little thing like the bingo where they put a bit of paper into this barrel. They actually turn the handle. They pull a piece of paper out, and that's your juror number, right? So
wow,
juror number 12 or something, and then they keep going basically to picking people. There's a phase before that where they you can go up to the judge if you've got reasonable reason why you can't make it. You can converse with her in this case, and they'll exclude you from the sort of selection. But the fascinating thing, watching those legal shows on the US, where they sort of they start off with a big pool, and then the prosecution and the defence ask questions to whittle down the jury. It doesn't work like that at all in Queensland. They have until you are sworn in to exclude you, but they can't ask you any question. Maybe it's judged on your walk or your swagger, how you get up there. And once the sort of swearing in starts, they can't contest. So that was juror number 9, maybe, or something like that. So I did get picked, but a couple of people got all the way right up to almost taking the oath before. They were excluded. Other people got knocked out as soon as they took 2 steps inside. So
they walk funny.
Yeah, it was a fascinating process. So the jury selection happened. So that ended up taking probably another hour to kind of get through that process. And the judge explained everything again to us as jurors. Went off to the jury room, had a tea. We went in and started. We got opening remarks from the prosecution. It was a pretty interesting process because you kind of like, once again, so much of my interpreting of the way things worked is from watching US
LA law,
stylized, highly stylized.
Law and Order,
Law and Order. There we go. That one. You can tell I love it. And Mel Partner is devastated that I've got into the court case because she is the biggest true crime buff that you've ever seen, and like she doesn't get picked. Anyway, there a lot of the evidence was pre-recorded, and they'd set 5 days aside for the case, but because there was a problem with the evidence or something, they didn't tell us exactly what the problem was. But basically, on day 2, we got dismissed, and they couldn't run the case. They had to rerun it.
Right.
Early this year. This was late last year. So So anyway, so we got dismissed, and that was it. That's my run-in with the law, Ben.
Yeah, and you got your 50-cent bus ride home, fully funded by the government.
Thanks.
Well done.
Queensland. Yeah.
Well done. So that's interesting.
Bringing justice to Queensland.
Thank you for your doing your civic duty. As I said, I've actively avoided it in the past, and I don't know why. I'm interested.
It's a really interesting process to go through. Like without having the pressure of being involved in one side or the other. A juror. Yeah, fascinating.
Interesting. Hey, speaking of buses, travel tip of the week. I'm heading to Jakarta next week, and I've been told, and I've been to Jakarta, and I've been told this is the same for Manila in the Philippines as well. Never get in a car without filling a water bottle or using a bathroom. And it's just, isn't that just the greatest advice ever?
Bali as well. Yeah.
Because you can just get caught. Like I've heard of guys, taking 8 hours to travel, 10 kilometers and stuff like this. It's just nuts.
It does. It just gridlocks, and you don't know why. Yeah.
And you can't really get out and walk. It's not safe. I've chosen to walk.
Anyway? Where I am.
I've chosen to walk once in Jakarta, and I probably regretted it. Like, it was just the traffic.
Those countries.
It's like this trusting parting of the vehicles when you step out onto the road to cross the road. I don't know, but to their credit, I've also never seen accidents in Jakarta. Right, there's this rhythm, this city rhythm of how they drive, and it just seems to work. But anyway,
on that topic, I do a lot of cycling, and I actually feel safer cycling in Bali with the tuk-tuks and the scooters going everywhere, and the cars and stuff, because it just sort of flows, and you sort of get in. Everyone's kind of looking out for everyone, because there's a fair amount of unpredictability on those roads. People are by and large at a kind of safe speed. It feels safer than cycling in Australia sometimes. So Anyway.
Well, there you go. I don't know if I'm ever going to be cycling in Bali, but it's good. It's good to know that I'll be safe when I do take up the opportunity. Listener feedback. We promised our listeners that we would try and work out what goes on with that notify anyway.
Yes, you've done the research, Ben.
We've done the research. Did it with my daughter. And here's the big reveal. It literally notifies you anyway. So it overrides whatever settings that, so putting your phone on silent is almost irrelevant when the person hits notify anyway.
Oh, does it be?
If you haven't got your phone on, the switch on the side, if you've got that on, it doesn't override that. The phone won't beep, but it still flashes up on your screen as a notification, even if you're set to do not disturb or whatever. So it was very, very strange, and we were trying to work out if there was a way to override the allow notify anyways or something, but it was too big of a rabbit hole for us to find out. But we literally sat side by side I sent a message, hit notify anyway, and it popped up on her screen. It was, we were both a little bit confused. Like, what's the point of this function?
It'd be interesting to test that if you weren't in the address book, like if you're a random messenger too.
Oh, fair.
Because it might work differently if you're in
not a contact
favourites list, or if you have a star next to your name. Yeah.
And more listener feedback. Someone who probably needs to remain anonymous said, "I've just listened to the latest BCC and I still think the useless box is awesome." So, so that's 3 people now.
We love it.
We're still very much in the minority now. And Lardy69 wrote on Apple Podcast reviews. Have a listen to this. When this was put in front of me, I thought, oh no, really? 2 blokes nattering about who knows what? But I love it. And it's now locked into my weekly routine. Definitely feeling 12 and a half minutes more awesome each week. Sometimes a little bit more awesome when they run a couple minutes over, which I think we're going to do today. Reviewer out. So he's even using like the language of Bravo Charlie Club. So
thanks, Lardy.
How good is that? So yeah, why not leave a comment, send us a text, join the Inner Sanctum on WhatsApp. The links will be there in the show notes. Hey, the conundrum of the week, mate. I've chosen just a quick one. What do we mean when we say nothing would make me happier?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? It opens with the negative and it ends with the positive. It's kind of one of those things that sort of makes you think, hang on, I've got to think about that statement and process it,
All right. Well, we'll come back to that one. That was actually written into us from a listener as well. It's a strange saying. It's a strange saying. Nothing would make me happy. I'm like, really? Like,
I guess it sort of means that they'd be very happy with that.
Good. I mean, I guess again, I'm great at overthinking things. We'll just let it be a sign of satisfaction. Hey, that's it, Richard. Listeners have been BCC'd on our week. In next week's show, we ask: is beach tennis a sport? See you next week. Bravo, Charlie Club out.
And that's the pod.